Hello and welcome to the second part of this taking control of your colour video tutorial. In the last part we showed you how to sort out your colour casts and also improve the tone and contrast of your picture using the basic enhancement tools within ACR, and now we're going to take a look at the tone curves. Now you'll find tone curve within Photoshop CS3 and 4. If you're using Photoshop Elements, then you can use the color curves that are available within some of the later versions of Elements. And if you're using an earlier version of Photoshop CS, then you can just use curves. Within the later versions of CS, you obviously have this tone curve, and it very quickly enables you to adjust the tones and the highlights within your image. So it's a very useful tool to have. Now, it's split into two different sections. You've got your parametric, which basically enables you to just adjust the highlights, lights, darks and shadows on a slider basis, or you can use it as point, which is very similar to curves within Photoshop itself. Now, Photoshop Elements users who are using the color curves, you'll basically have something very similar to this parametric curve, which enables you just to make adjustments to the sliders, and it's very useful and very easy to use. Now if you want a starting point, you're not sure really where to start off with, if you just click onto the point, there's a series of presets which are very handy. So what we'll do is we'll just choose our curve. At the moment we've got linear, and I'm just going to go down to strong contrast, and you'll instantly see the difference that makes. If I click off preview, on and off, and you can see the difference there. And now what I can do is I can actually just grab those points and move them around so they actually meet exactly as I want them. So I want to just increase the mid-tone contrast a little bit more. I'm just going to drag the two middle points just over to the right a little bit, and I just want to increase the lightness of the midtones. So just going to raise that point and raise this point over down on the left. Now as I do that, you can see that this point here is referring to more of the shadow regions, this is the midtones, and over here on the right, that is our highlights. So as I pull those highlights down, you'll start to see those clipping warnings disappear. So I raise those highlights, you'll start to see more clipping warnings appear. What I want is a happy medium between the two. So I'm just going to pull that down just slightly. It's also just increasing the contrast of those highlight areas as well. So there's my sort of custom curve. If I just check it out before and after, you can actually see what a dramatic effect that has on the picture. Really sort of lightened up some of the rock detail, pulled out detail within those tones, and we've also been able to pull back just a little bit more detail within the sky and the clouds. If I want to just recover a little bit more highlight in those clouds, I can actually add another point, click and pull that down, and you can see those clipping warnings for those highlights have almost completely disappeared. So the tone curve is a very powerful tool for getting the best possible information in your picture. So I'll leave you there to have a play around with the tone curve. Do experiment. Again, it's not an exact science, but the more you play around with the tone curve, the better the effect and the results that you will get. And I'll see you in the next part where we'll take a look at selective colour boosting.